They feel good about what happened, that, really nothing happened. And again, that was a good thing. And really that this was just a show and a demonstration against the governor's gun proposals. And this is also a legislative package that's being pushed by the Democratic majority here in Virginia. And so for many of these gun owners, they feel that that's treading on their Second Amendment rights. In terms of this legislative package, we're talking about things like universal background checks, limiting citizens to one handgun purchase a month, giving local governments greater authority to ban weapons in certain public places. And so that is what a lot of these folks are upset about. They disagree with it. And so they came out in force to make their voices heard. Again, we've talked to local authorities, and for the most part, we're told there have been no arrests, that there has been no violence. As of
the eMilitia Podcast, Episode 27. The Virginia episode. With Trijiconfucious and Hang'em. Enjoy, fuckers.
Hello and welcome to the eMilitia Podcast. And today we're going to be doing a quick run-through of the rally in Virginia, which we've been building up to for what feels like years at this point. I'm so glad it's over and that it went well, but we'll get into that. I'm Bloody Revolutions, and I'm here with my co-host, Hang for Freedom, who was present at the rally, Rebellious Liberty, and the man who is behind all the grassroots shit, Trijiconfucious himself. So, gentlemen, how did it go?
Went great, honestly.
Yeah, I was preparing for like legal funds and shit, and like I don't know, maybe a memorial plaque, but
oh, you and me both, man. I mean, when we all rolled in there, we had our backpacks packed with trauma kits on trauma kits on trauma kits. We were ready to we were ready for what we thought was going to happen, and it was. I'm so thankful it didn't get to that.
Dude, you must have slept like a fucking log when you got back. Like the amount of stress just off your shoulders.
The amount of stress and the fucking 60 pounds of medical gear that wasn't on my shoulders either. So.
Oh yeah, that too.
Within a couple hours of leaving the rally and getting away from it all, like I was dead tired. I just wanted to lay down and go to sleep, and my flight wasn't for like another 5 hours. I had to just stay up.
Oh, dude, I would have missed my flight. I would have fucking passed out somewhere with like a glass of straight vodka in my hand. Like there would be no helping me.
Yeah, like you said at the beginning, where you're just happy it's over, dude. You have no fucking idea.
Oh no,
I'm so happy it's over. Guys. I mean, I know the fight isn't over. There's still plenty more to do, but this rally has been literally my life the last 2.5 months, man. I'm so fucking happy it's over.
Oh man, yeah, it's just it really went. I mean, not as good as it could have gone, because if it was like perfect, I don't know, Governor Blackface would have stepped outside and been like, "Never mind, I'm calling it off." But just short of that, it, like, in my opinion, it went as good as it could have been. How do you feel?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, if he were to step outside, he would have to be there first, but he's too much to even show up after he fucking messed everything up, so.
Yeah, I don't think it could have went much better for the circumstances we were given.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I think our community showed who they are. Just peaceful, kind people who want their voices heard and don't want their rights trampled on.
Yeah, I was worried it would be just hijacked by one of, the many different factions involved in this,
I think most people were worried.
Yeah, I was expecting either the MAGA crowd to come in and it just being like a red hat parade, or I don't know, that there was fucking talk of white nationalists, and beyond the bullshit the mass media was going to push. No matter what, there was talk of white nationalists doing some bullshit. And then, but yeah, no, the community really showed its colors in every possible way. I mean, we had fucking Black Panthers there, we had Black Guns Matter, we had rainbow Gadsden flags and shit in the street. We had, and then the colorful assortment of other various gun-centric groups. I mean, it was it was a relief to see that. It's like the very best of our community was on show there, and that's exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge success in that aspect. I mean, like we were all worried before, especially because I mean, when I was at the brewery the night before Hang 'em, I definitely, like, one of the guys there who approached me and was talking my ear off. He was 110% a Fed that was trying to instigate something.
I talked to that dude for a minute outside, and he started talking to a couple other guys, and I just got away from him real quick.
He was way too eager to start talking about IEDs and stuff. I'm like, okay,
what the
buddy.
fuck?
Yeah.
Was it the guy in like the old army shirt? Kind of looking like
beard and the beanie on, and every time he talked, he would cover his mouth.
Yep.
Yeah, it was that guy. And like he approached me. He said he didn't know who I was, but he said, I just saw everybody coming up to you when you came in, so I came up. My buddy was like, dude, he walked around the room once, and went right to you. I'm like, okay. And he didn't make any mention to you either, Hang 'em. He didn't know anybody there. He just came up to us and started talking about that stuff. It was like, okay.
Like, when I first got there, he was already there, and he was hanging out outside, kind of like hiding. And if you go out on the patio, he'd make his way over to you and start talking to you.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
He was, without a doubt, he was a Fed. Like, And he said, and
yeah, he laid out a plan on how to get out of there.
It was something about driving his Jeep down the train tracks after they blow something up or something. And
I didn't even get that far with him.
Oh, yeah, and he said, like, oh, yeah, you know, we just came in from town. We're from Oklahoma. I'm like, oh, that's convenient, so nobody knows you? Cool. Like, fuck off, dude.
Oh, Christ. You just know, like, with all the, after the, I mean, if this even really happened, the 3 supremacists that got arrested coming down from Canada, whatever the fuck that was about, like, you just know the second that came out, like, we are all just being watched till absolute high fuck.
Yeah. You know what the worst part of that was? Is that the media openly admitted they knew the actual definition of an assault rifle, because they said these men were arrested for building a functioning assault rifle.
Yeah, like we all have
automatics. So they know the actual definition of an assault rifle. They just openly choose to apply it to like an AR-15 and shit. And that just like that pissed me off. I know it's like just, you know, that's the standard like gun rhetoric, like, oh, it's not an assault rifle. Like, I know, but it irked me. It really irked me.
Yeah, like no, these guys had a for realsies assault rifle. Like
not like these fake LARPers, man. They had an actual one they built. Like, it's scary.
Oh, Christ. Oh, yeah, shout out to all of our Fed listeners, because I'm sure there's, like, tenfold now.
Yeah.
Was it a senator or someone who said, like, we're all going to be glowing with fucking Fed monitors now after the rally? Like, they're going to be trying to identify everyone and shit.
I think I saw a tweet about that today.
Yeah. I've been seeing it, like, I think it was a tweet in everyone's feed. So that's fun, you know. Just smile and wave, boys. They already fucking know who we are. Who cares?
Man, that's what I was doing. I was waving to some of the snipers on the roof and shit when they were looking over at us. I was like, hey guys, what's happening? Good to see you.
Saw a Scobo's story where it was like just flipping one off. I was like, there you go. Show them some love.
Their service, they're protecting us.
Yeah. Just waiting to see if anyone twitches wrong so they can fucking pop you in the head.
Yes.
They fear the light from 200 yards away.
How do you feel about how the governor said that without, you know, it went peacefully because of him and his actions?
Oh yeah, de-escalating it.
Yeah.
His head so far up his fucking ass that the stupid fucking lump in his throat is his goddamn nose, man. It's fucking unreal.
Hey, George, I can hear your jersey coming out.
Yeah, man, when you give me energy, the fucking jersey comes out, man. So.
Oh man, de-escalation via snipers, fucking a freedom cage, what, MRAPs and shit in the street. Yeah, de-escalation +10.
Oh yeah, you know,
it was just ridiculous. It was laughable. Anyone who had been paying attention realized that he escalated it more than anyone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it was proven that our community can come out and be peaceful, and he was the one was actually inciting Antifa to be there.
Oh yeah, by saying these are all white supremacists, like, oh well, now we have to show up and counter them. It's like, no, dude.
Hey, dude, didn't you wear blackface like 20 years ago? We're the white supremacists. I can say I've never worn blackface in my life.
Not even once. Come on.
Not even once. You know why? I'm not a politician. It seems like every other politician has done it. But I'm not a politician, so no blackface for me.
It's just a pastime these sheltered fucks get into because they've never met an actual black person.
The only reason they know black people is as running mates to make them look good.
Yeah, like
that's why his fucking running mate is Justin Fairfax, a black guy, even though he got accused of rape like 6 separate times, and his response was "fuck those bitches, I don't care." Like that was the actual quote: "It's fuck those bitches, I don't care."
It's only good people in government. Remember that, people.
Oh man, like just the fucking cream of the crop, man.
Jesus Christ.
Good people.
So getting back to escalation and how secure we were at the rally. How I heard the cops were fairly easy on the 2A supporters. Like I don't know if that was their personal approach to you guys or if it like came from the top down. But apparently they were all only carrying sidearms and they were all very easy. No one was enforcing mask laws apart from that one instance, but we'll get into that. And they didn't really fuck with you guys much at all. Is that true? Or how is
in my experience? Yes.
That's
like in the morning, everyone was really scared. We all went to the meetup place. Obviously, everyone was coming in small little groups. A couple guys were telling us, they're like, oh, we parked way far away, had to walk right past the police. There's only 2 of us. They're like, we just kept our eyes at the sidewalk. No one said anything to us, went right past them while we were sitting in the meetup place. Cops were going past us. Didn't give us any attention. There were some cops sitting right next to us the whole time in the area where we were sitting at. Basically, yeah, they're leaving us alone. They weren't enforcing any kind of us being there in public with our guns
at all. Do you feel like they were monitoring you or just like literally you happen to be in the same spot?
Well, I know we were being monitored. To the extent I couldn't tell you, my tinfoil hat will tell me extensively. But the basic police on the ground weren't monitoring us. They were just there because that's what cops are supposed to do. Always just be there and watching over in case something happens.
Fair enough. Trish, you have the same experience because you're a bit more public. So, I mean, I'm sure you were probably, your face was probably shared around, I'm sure.
I mean, I had pretty much the same experience. I mean, in the beginning, when we were walking through with the boxes of the magazines, we'd pass a cop, and every few cops would be like, "Hey, what's in the box?" Magazines, like, don't worry about it. And then other than that, it was pretty tame. I mean, some of the cops were even like laughing with us when we were fucking just jamming on TAC 45's. He brought a Bluetooth speaker out. That's when we were all singing.
Oh yeah.
So some of the cops even laughed with us for that. I mean, so they were relatively good. Some state troopers did leave a sign on the fence, like with the state trooper logo, and said, "We're not going to enforce these laws," which I saw that, and I like full mast immediately. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, you guys are going to gloss over that one. Okay. For the most part, I mean, yeah, it was good. I think the only other harassment, the only other harassment from the cops was when we were jumping all over their MRAP and I was putting stickers all over it. But
well, that seems marginally justified. You might have been pushing your luck.
Yeah, well, they just said, "Hey, we'd really appreciate it if you guys didn't jump all over it." That's all they said. There was 2 geared out state troopers that came up, and there was like 25, 30 of us, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not gonna, push this too much."
Yeah, like, guys, please please.
Like, we'd rather you didn't jump all over it. I'm like, fine.
I guess, you know.
If you get red flagged and a Stadium rep shows up and my sticker's right on the front.
Try to get it on social media?
Yeah, at least before you get smoked, get a picture first and tag me in it. Appreciate
Definitely.
it.
Tag a minute.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, I'm sure so many more conservative-leaning types are now going to be like, "See, they didn't mess with you; they were supporting you." It's like, well, I don't know how much of that was like top-down, like, you know, let's be non-confrontational today, let's not escalate, and how much was them as individuals saying we're not gonna fuck with these guys because we support them. You know, I'm sure it's like a very mixed bag of.
I think it's probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
I think in a situation like that, every one of those cops was happy if the orders came down from above was not to escalate anything.
Oh yeah, I mean that
because
they got to be.
There
really
wasn't a person there
too.
that wanted a situation to be escalated. I hope there wasn't a person there that wanted the situation, because it's a giant crowd of a lot of people, and it would just be, the results would be ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I know it, and even some of the cops there, I know it's going to sound kind of bootlicky, but they don't like the laws either. I only know that because I know some of the troopers that were there, and they aren't about that either. I know that some of them, you know, lots of them are still going to enforce it anyway. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, go to bat for these people.
Oh no.
They're not, because, you know, lots of them come from bumblefuck Virginia, man, middle of nowhere. So they're not about these either. Like, on my way back, when I was driving back on West on 64, I got passed by just a convoy of troopers just heading back to, you know, the middle of nowhere. Like, but that being said, you know, I think it was a mix. It wasn't just them, like, leaving us alone because they didn't believe in it. I'm sure there was also things that came down from the top, like, hey, don't escalate this because this could blow up in our fucking face. We don't.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing was, like, my trooper buddies told me, like, they were so worried about it being another Charlottesville because it went so horrendously for the troopers in Charlottesville, and it was so poorly executed. So they were so worried about it being another, not only a, you know, like, catastrophe nightmare, but a PR nightmare for the department. So I'm sure that was, a lot of it was coming from the top down.
Yeah. I think what really helped keep it as a peaceful rally was kind of the sense of humor on display. It's not something I was really expecting, but so many people, there was just some fucking wild stuff on display. I mean, for a start, that man in Rhodesian short shorts.
Oh yeah, that was Moonbase Echo, man. He's a fucking great guy. You know, Moonbase Echo on Instagram. Just letting you know.
I would follow him into anything. That's bravery in fucking January. And then I mean, any of you guys see Alex Jones driving down the street?
I did not.
I was looking for him, but
damn,
didn't see him.
I believe I seen his truck parked there, but he wasn't in it, and he wasn't anywhere to be seen. I seen some of his guys walking around.
I saw some
and stuff,
megaphones and stuff, but I did see Caitlin Bennett. She was there, so.
Oh my god, fucking old spaghetti head.
Made sure, and she did not shit her pants this time. So.
Are you sure? I mean,
took a video of it for proof. Don't worry. I walked by and said, "No, there's no poop this time," and I kept going.
Good job, Caitlin. Keep it up.
Hey, she's growing up, man. She's getting it.
Oh Christ. Was there anything crazy that you guys saw?
The craziest thing I seen was Moonbase Echo in his shorty shorts in January dancing around.
Oh yeah, shit, you actually made a post about that. No, fair enough. I mean, fucking all's well.
And the drug rug.
In the drug rug. Exactly. That's exactly what I call those. And he had the magazines built into it. It was great.
Fuck yeah.
Man, that was fucking great. He had those sour cream legs out for everybody to see, man. He didn't give a fuck.
That was the most sun he's seen in years.
It's actually some really tactical shit. He was using his whiteness to blind the snipers.
Oh, yeah, man.
I seen two local news reporters setting up. One was running the camera, one was talking, and he was sitting there dancing in the background for him. And the girl that was getting ready to talk lost it, and she was checking out his ass. And she saw the girl holding the camera, and the girl holding the camera turned around. She was checking out his ass.
What a fucking hero. See, it's that kind of display that really I genuinely believe kept it so calm. Because I mean, no one's gonna be like, fuck, it's about to pop off when you got some guy like basically half naked dancing, carrying a rifle. It's just so fucking ridiculous. Like you're not gonna be sitting there like, it's about to pop off. Shit, it's getting real tense.
I saw the cops that were posted up by us laughing at about it too when he was dancing around.
Yeah.
They found it amusing.
Something we should probably address for a lot of listeners is the guillotine. Or guillotine. How the fuck? It's French, so I don't speak frog. But the guillotine incident. Because everyone seems to think that the cops tore it down. And so anyone want to take that one, or should I just run with it?
We passed that as a whole group. One of the pictures that was going around of everyone posted in front of it with their guns was like some people that were hanging out with us from Ohio, actually. Like a bunch of them were from Ohio. But we passed that like 10 minutes before they tore it down. And I didn't get the vibe going through there at all that the cops were being hostile towards it. And my complete understanding is they asked people, hey, does anyone want this?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, why didn't you carry that? Why didn't you carry that? Dude, everyone was so fucking tired for standing around for 6 to 8 hours in their whole gear. No one was carrying shit out of there. We all carried our trash out.
Yeah. And to my understanding, too, it's like they did offer it, and they were just trying to move it to the side of the road. And then when they were trying to move to the side of the road, it fell over. It wasn't like they were maliciously destroying this thing that somebody brought out. Like that, to my understanding, that's what happened. I didn't witness any of that, but that's what I was told by people who I believe I'm pretty sure they were there when it was happening. So
yeah, Emp was monitoring like the whole geotag Snapchat thing for most of that day, and there's like videos of cops sort of like laughing around it. Like I don't think they even took it that seriously. They were just like, it's a fucking stunt, and the whole thing was a political stunt. The guy's not going to get a shout out from this show because I already forgot his fucking name, but so it didn't work that well. But some local politician had put it together as a statement piece. His name or website was in the Blade, and apparently they put it in place. People took pictures of it, and then they walked off, left it, didn't take it back with them, so it got fucking torn down because it was left in the road, and I think from my understanding, the rally was coming to an end. They were opening up the roads again, so it was moved, and then I didn't know it fell apart while they were moving it. But whatever the case was, I really don't think they were like, fuck these protesters, let's tear this shit down. As much as I despise cops, and don't get me wrong, I do, but I don't think they did that.
Yeah, there wasn't malicious intent there.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the picture, and the Blade says Riley2020.com. So if you want to find out who made this, it's Riley2020.com. That's where you can get your information.
Presumably, it is a Riley.
The most aggressive I saw the cops be all day was about 20 minutes after the guillotine was like moved in whatever. I knew because I posted right before that. And then like I was looking at the original post of them moving the guillotine, and they were within like 10-15 minutes of us being right there. But like right after that, because the whole rally was ending, I was told it was anti-fa, and they were doing some whole kind of speech and chanting, and they had a big banner, and then they like started pushing through the crowd out of the whole sectioned off area towards their bus, and the police just like they kind of surrounded them because they didn't want anyone punching those retards. And then they got out of the area, and the cops stopped. Like, you could hear their sergeant or whatever, their commanding officer tell them, "No, stop! Don't go anywhere. No, stay with the group. Stay with us. We're going this way now." They're out of the zone. So that was the most activity I saw the cops do, is actually like controlling the crowd. Everyone else there
did their job.
Everyone else there, no one was being offensive whatsoever, so there was no reason to interact with us, really, in the crowd.
Yeah.
Those guys were screaming their heads off, being silly, and...
Oh, man.
Real quick, I got this guy's website up if you want me to read it real quick.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
J.C. Riley, it's Libertarian running for the United States House of Representatives, Virginia's 3rd District. So... for you guys in Virginia,
that's pretty cool.
That might actually be something to look into, because he brought a guillotine to a rally. So that should tell you all you really need to know about this guy.
Yeah, he's of our mindset.
Fucking based motherfucker. Sweet. All right, cool. Yeah, you were saying, so I just wanted to make sure I got that in there, because I wanted to give the guy credit.
Oh, yeah. Especially if he's of our mindset. Where are we at? So, you guys do any? No, you guys didn't do any kind of like post-rally celebration. I'm sure everyone was fucking knackered. You guys all went off, ate, and fucked off home, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, right on. So I guess unless you guys have any other comments about the day itself, we can get into what's next, kind of the aftermath, the optics.
Speaking of that, I do have a question to bring up really quick. So I've been seeing a lot of more accelerationist type folks
something to
on
address,
social media that are basically making fun of the rally, saying, "Good job, you did nothing. You guys just stood around and did exactly what the governor wanted. Now he won't listen to you." Like, what would be your response towards those types of people that just say that the rally accomplished zero and that you should have gone in more guns blazing type thing?
Well, for me, I mean, for one, I don't think that, even before the rally, I didn't think this was going to change any of the politicians' minds.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was more so to send a message and to show that people in the Second Amendment community can actually organize and make something happen. Because, like I've said before, I mean, Second Amendment community is notorious for being fucking garbage at that. But the last 3 months have proved that we can turn that around and we can actually fucking accomplish things. As for actually shooting the place up and things like that, like, you should have just went in there and, started shooting people and burning buildings down. Like, they don't realize that there's a cage of literally 20,000 unarmed people or 10,000 unarmed people in the middle of where you'd be shooting. So it's not like it's just combatants in the field there. There's literally 10,000 people, unarmed people, standing in the middle of where this would happen. So even if we did go in there with the intent to do that, that would be fucking stupid.
Dude, these guys want a boogaloo, and they can't realize that would be the dumbest tactical thing ever in the world to do.
Oh, yeah. Like,
none of them know the repercussions of what a civil war would actually bring. They're all just, they fetishize it. They think it's Red Dawn, but they forget the end of the movie.
Or, like you said,
all die.
the innocent citizens all there in the square.
Yeah. They forget that, again, to bring it back to Red Dawn, they forget that half their parents got caged in this fucking drive-in theater inside a chain link cage, sound familiar, and ended up dying there. And then the other half, the people ended up getting shot and shit. So it's like, why are you fetishize? Why do you want to tear the country apart? Why are you so eager to cause so much fucking just horrendous things? It makes no sense to me. Like, I understand that you want to change something, but if you don't go about the peaceful ways first, like, that's an absolute last resort. And people want to make that their first course of action without even trying to do anything else. Let alone half these people can't even make it up a flight of stairs without being out of breath when they get
Yeah, that's the thing that kills me about all these commentators saying, "Oh, well, you guys didn't do shit." It's like, well, actually, this is irrefutable proof that A, tried peacefully and did a fucking fantastic job of it. Disproved all of their smears. We've got like empirical evidence. We are peaceful. We're sensible. We're mature. We can mobilize and shit, and that we're equipped. All those things are put out on the table, and they were done in like the most respectful, calm manner possible. It's there. If they want to escalate it, and there's already these headlines, oh, they're gonna push ahead with these anyway. It's like, well, they can't say we didn't try our damnedest, to be the good guys.
And I'd say with that, if you're really into the Constitution, one of your First Amendment right involves the ability to peacefully assemble and protest. And your Second Amendment right guarantees what happens after that if they don't listen to you, And so, like you said, like war should be your very last resort. Just blood on your hands, the horrible things that happen during war. You don't actually want to do that first off. Like there are things that you want to do, whether it's to avoid bloodshed, for good optics or anything, to make sure that you guys are the actual good guys and not just killing people for the sake of something.
Yeah. For a lot of people,
too many people are so eager to just dive into that, and it's just, I just, it's not something I'll understand. Like for me, I'm getting married in less than 2 months. Like I want to live to at least get married,
Dude,
like,
I was so worried about that shit. I was like, if something happens,
in my experience, the only ones that were pushing that whole narrative weren't going unless they were a Fed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had
no one pushing that narrative. Yeah.
I had people on Instagram that were like, they were calling me out like, "Oh man, why do you want to do this? This is just for optics, man. Why do you want to open carry and bring out assault rifles and stuff? Like, why do you want to do that?" And the same people now that this is over, like, "Oh, cool. I hope you're proud of yourselves. You guys did nothing." It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, for one, we sent a great message that says we can be peaceful, but we're capable of creating war, essentially. And the best thing, too, that topped it off was all these guys with rifles on their backs and pistols in their belts, at the end of it, bending down and picking up all the garbage that was left there. Because there was people saying, like, this place was cleaner afterwards than when they started.
Oh, and you saw all the local businesses saying, like, well, yeah, it was kind of a nice little boost.
Like there were literally no disadvantages that came out of this, but people are still trying to talk shit about it because it's the internet,
One of the guys I was standing next to had his radio on the whole time and was intercepting the city's receptions or radio, whatever. And he said there was a call out that the 7-Eleven had to close because they were out of food.
You're welcome, local economy.
There you go.
Good stuff.
The one thing you asked me if I wanted to add anything else, real quick. I was talking about this in the last podcast. Me and Hanger were just done, and it was just this surreal feeling of like being able to walk down a city street with 35, 40 guys behind me, and all of us have ARs thrown across our chest. It wasn't like a power trip kind of thing. It was just a weird feeling because that's not usually socially acceptable.
Oh no, that's surreal as fuck.
Like we were literally walking down the middle of a city street, 40 of us with fucking bulletproof vests and ARs, and just walking. We were walking on the double yellow down this road and looking around, and it's just there's tons of people on the side, but we're just walking down the middle of the street with ARs and shit, and it was just such a surreal feeling to be able to have a place and a venue where you can go out there and you're really not worried about the social repercussions because everybody else there is doing the same thing. So it was such a crazy feeling. So I just wanted to throw that out there because you're never gonna like, you're very rarely ever gonna have an opportunity to do something like that again.
Yeah, this was genuinely historic, like what you guys have done. Because can anyone else name another gun rights rally like this? It just hasn't happened.
You know what the best part was? Rob Pincus wasn't involved at all.
That's why it went off. Oh, Christ. We could tear into him for 20 minutes. But yeah, so something to point out, I think a lot of the population, they didn't really know this kind of gun owner existed. You know? Like, you see militias, and so much of the media is trying to wrap their head around, like, oh, all these militias came in. These people, like, very few people, to my knowledge, were organized militias, like guys who get together on the weekend. These are just gun owners. And these are 2020 gun owners, people who have ARs, have kit, plates, helmets, all that shit. This is just a gun owner in 2020. And I think the general populace needed to get a refresher, like a fresh look at what a modern gun owner is, so they don't see this kind of shit and freak out. This is some of that Lucas Botkin, T-Rex Arms, talks about, is desensitizing people to this kind of stuff. And I think it's so important, because now it's not going to be like, oh, this is military. You're going to get the people critiquing and saying, oh, military cosplay. But a lot of people, this is going to become more and more normal. It's like, oh, you've got an AR. Do you have plates?
Yeah.
Well, I see it being more normal is we're going to start seeing more rallies where this is common.
Yes.
With the guys coming out, open carrying in their kits.
Yeah, because, I mean,
let's call it what it is. It's going to be a trend.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a good trend for our movement.
And
it's going to be a trend because of things like this. Like, I'm with Triji. I don't believe protest is going to change the government much at all. But what it is going to do is it's going to wake up the people. Every time we have another rally and it goes peacefully like this and there's not a problem, there's going to be more people that were on the fence to these types of things.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, can you imagine if one of these rallies had previously happened, how many more people would be out here being like, oh, well, it's safe to do it. Like, it went so well last time. That's how it's going to be just for the future. From now on, you guys have set the precedent that you can safely hold a rally with fucking thousands of heavily armed people and no one gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And that is fucking beautiful. From now on, the Second Amendment rallies don't have to be a bunch of people in their fucking Sunday best, like, worried about optics. Because people in full kit showing what the Second Amendment is about, practicing the Second Amendment, can be out there protesting just the same as these people in three-piece suits and, combed hair.
And I think another cool part of it was I think the people that were bitching about optics were the same. They were just a very loud minority, honestly. I mean, we had a lot of people, and it sounds fucking cheesy as shit, but we had a lot of people that came up to us and were like, hey, thank you for carrying today. Like, thank you for, protecting us.
I was actually told that by a lot of people. A lot of people told me, thank you. This 80-year-old lady came up to me, and I had probably a good 20-minute conversation with her, and she told me, thank you for carrying. I feel safer with you being here.
There was a ton of people who were coming up to all the guys in our group saying that. So, I mean, that was just a very loud minority from what it seems like.
Fuds, man.
Those are the people that will open carry their rifle at the next rally.
When they see that it's more socially acceptable, because they probably heard the same voices that we did. We just decided to not give a fuck now, but they're not going to give a fuck next time. And those same people, even that 80-year-old woman, she's going to come out open carrying a rifle or a shotgun or something. Like, she's going to be there right alongside us. Shit, maybe we'll even get plates. Who the fuck knows? I don't know.
Part of it's the generation that grew up with the NHRA or the NRA was the greatest thing for gun rights ever, and they've always followed them. But now they're seeing, well, hey, maybe I don't align with the NRA's views. Look what these guys are doing. We should have been doing this in the 80s. We should have been doing this in the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Christ, Black Panthers were trying to do it back then, but we know how that got legislated out of existence.
Oh yeah, Ronnie was not about that.
Good old gun-loving Reagan.
Oh yeah, conservative God, baby.
Banning our full autos.
What a guy.
I think this kind of rally, there wasn't really a touch of NRA on this whole thing, which is it's awesome because it's going to be one of the nails in their coffin. This current generation of gun rights activists, no one's going to fucking renew their membership with them. Where were you? What were you doing to help me out? No, I'm gonna take my money elsewhere and buy fucking nods. Normalize that. So
Man, that was another beautiful thing that came out of this. When you go to like an NRA's page, like and like just go into their posts, especially when they said like anything about Virginia, people are like, no, fuck you, you did nothing.
Yeah. Good. Let them fucking die. Let's not renew it. Let's not rebrand it or put new people in charge. The whole thing is a rotten, bloated corpse. Let that whole thing fucking burn, as far as I'm concerned. My opinion. I don't know about you guys, but it's just beyond usefulness. Clearly,
they've. I mean, they were never useful to begin with.
Yeah,
but they outlived their existence at this point.
Yeah, they were like a big central tent for gun owners to crowd under, but didn't stop us getting pissed on. Not even once. So yeah, this grassroots stuff, civil disobedience style kind of action. Clearly, I mean it. We'll get into it in just a second, but I mean it hasn't changed these guys' minds, but in terms of optics and the media, they went from the start of the day and the day before going like, oh, white supremacists converging on Richmond to reporters sitting there kind of like chuckling, almost relieved, like, yeah, just people out here, no arrests. It went all right. And they were forced to say that because there's nothing else to report. They've got all these people in Richmond, no big horrible event that they were all salivating for. And nothing happened. So they have to be like, yeah, it's actually gone off fine.
Man, they were bummed.
Yeah, seriously. And good. It was so awesome watching all of the after action or after lack of action reports. Just all these reporters kind of didn't really know what to say.
It's great to see like there was people saying like, oh yeah, there must be white supremacists hiding there. I posted on my Instagram today, and they're like, they were hiding the white supremacists. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You were hiding the white supremacists? Where were we hiding the white supremacists? The only white supremacist that was there wasn't even there. He was in protective custody 100 miles away, and he had the fucking title of governor. So fuck off.
Yeah, and that's the most fucking annoying thing about this whole event was just having to talk about race so much. Like, people are in my comments, I'm sure some of yours, saying, you guys are grandstanding, putting these guys on a pedestal, and they're just token blacks. It's like, we didn't fucking want them to be. I wanted it to be a rally of individuals who like their gun rights. I don't care what the fuck they do with their personal time, what their race is, etc. But it was so heavily just lent on this white supremacist angle, and people were still going on. I'm sure you saw it, Tridge. All these fucking people sharing videos of you guys marching in, being like, "White supremacists, terrorists, white terrorists. This is terrifying."
The one
it's
black guy in the frame.
Yeah, it's like, you fucking mugs.
Yeah, that was the best part. Like, the second I seen that video, I remember exactly when it was shot too. We were it was right when we made our march from the meeting point, and we were working our way towards the square, and it was only like a block into the blocked off area. And I seen the camera set up, and I did a pretty good job of hiding behind other people and being discreet.
Because you're peeing your pants.
That got me pretty good.
Oh no, yeah. Well, you were leading the way, and you had to for all the activism you've done. Everyone was following you. You were the leader.
Yeah, man. I know the people in the comments was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they have masks covering their face." I'm like, "It's 20 fucking degrees out, you fucking retard. It's cold as shit, and we're on the James River. I'm cold. Fuck off."
Half the cops at 2 in the afternoon were still wearing their masks.
Yeah, I think all three of the cops in that spot we were hanging out for a while, all three of them behind us, all had their faces covered because it was
Even though it's a felony.
shit.
All the city workers, like just the guys that they had driving the dump trucks and stuff and moving things around, like they all had masks on.
Yeah.
It's fucking winter. What an insane law and a thing to bitch about.
Yeah, wearing the scarf, that's just horrible to do.
Yeah,
I'm just glad they didn't catch us jaywalking. I can't imagine what they would have said then. We were in the crosswalk.
Yeah. Christ. It's not like it's fucking Nevada or something, middle of summer, and everyone's wearing face masks. Like, then maybe, but still fuck off, because, I mean, clearly everyone's being monitored so heavily. I mean, can you blame them? But,
Yeah, right?
yeah, what a ridiculous fucking thing to even bring up.
I mean, they're literally grasping for whatever the fuck they can get.
I'm literally grasping at straws.
That actually made me so happy because with all the talk and the fear of what was going to happen there, I knew no matter what, they were going to try to turn this against us, and they did. It couldn't have went better for us, and they're still trying to turn it against us, and that's all they have is calling us white supremacists because we're marching in to protect people's rights, and they don't even notice that there are people of color in the group marching in. They were just so ready to blame us for something. And I mean, they're calling us white supremacists. We hadn't done anything. We don't have any flags saying that we hate
forgot
people.
your tiki torches.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a clap spool in my backpack. Don't worry.
Oh, nice. Tactical tiki torch.
Yeah.
The strangest white supremacist symbol there is.
Ooh.
So yeah, watching their feeble attempts to paint us poorly, even knowing that people are going to eat it up, that felt really good. That made me know that we had accomplished something good that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just watching them grasp is fucking hysterical, honestly. I mean, for one, we're white supremacists just because we have a rifle. It's like, what? Meanwhile, like, the Black Panthers are there. And you have Antifa. They weren't actually, like, actively showing up. I'm sure they had some people, like, blending in the crowd. But they were actively fighting the same bills we were. And they literally posted in their story today, like, oh, they think radical right are the only people that are against these gun laws. LOL. Like, are you kidding me? But we're white supremacists? Like, what?
Dude,
no, like,
isn't it racist automatically saying that we're supremacists?
Well, you're
based
white,
on the color of our skin?
Oh, yeah, I mean, well, it's a...
Oh, I mean, I would say so.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what do you think of the aftermath, gentlemen?
I think it couldn't have went better. That's the aftermath right now. I think it could not have went better.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, so we've got multiple states heading in the same direction, and then I mean, let's focus on Virginia's situation before we get into that. So it came out, I think it was, 3 Democrats or something, and then they pull up this headline saying, gun laws are going ahead regardless. I don't know how solid that is, but that seems to be the opinion of most. And no one was expecting them to freak out and repeal all the laws, as we said. So,
but let's be real here. If you look at that and look at the 25,000 people that possibly were armed, and say that the people who are against that weren't scared at least a little bit to continue their course, like, you got to be really thick. And so that's my hope with when if it spreads to other areas and other politicians and municipalities will be afraid to even mention it, kind of thing. That's the goal, right?
Yeah. I think them coming out immediately and saying that is actually better for us.
It makes them look like the people that will not comply.
Yeah, like they're not. They talk about how they're so open to compromise, even though we're not open to compromise, but it makes them look like the ones who are closed to that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, because you're asking about the next steps, I think we're trying to springboard. There's a few parts of it, but we're trying to springboard the sanctuary resolution into into converting these sanctuaries into ordinances. And I think them coming out and saying that so quickly goes to our advantage in that, because we can all go to our boards of supervisors and say, hey, listen, we made our point, and they're still going through this, so they obviously don't care what their constituents have to say. So you, board of supervisors, are the first line of defense against the state. So if you really care about your constituents, since these people down in Richmond obviously don't, we need you to pass this, because otherwise, Lord knows what can happen if they pass this and these conflicts come into our county.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it was the biggest aid to you guys. That there was clearly no... It's not like they deliberated on their response to this massive, historic rally for like 3 days at least. It was just instantly like, no, fuck you. Well, we tried.
They knew ahead of time. Like, it was released.
Oh yeah.
They were all at home asleep when it was released. Like,
they had that email drafted 2 weeks ago, and they just had one of their interns hit send once everybody went home from the rally. That's all it was.
Oh, sure as fuck. But so I've seen multiple kind of responses. There was something that you shared this morning, Tridge, about the splitting Virginia up again into oh Christ, I'm gonna fuck up the pronunciation. Appalachistan. Appalachia.
Yeah, the
Appalachistan.
Yeah. That's actually a buddy who's been pretty integral in that. He's a big part of that as well. And yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, West Virginia is willing to accept more and more counties into their state as well.
That's pretty awesome.
But yeah, I mean, trying to split the state a little bit, so it's not necessarily a super long-term decision, or a long-term solution. I mean, because obviously there's people in those counties, in every county that's affected by this, not just the mostly red ones, you know. But
yeah,
I think it's a good start. And also, if something does happen later that's nationwide, if you have a 51st state that just came into the union, that state is already in a rebellious mindset where it can easily secede and then start something for other states to secede as well. And it can also prove that balkanization is possible.
Yep. That's the word I was looking for. And I mean, it's the most peaceful solution to federal government, in my opinion, as an anarchist. The smaller the population that there's like a central authority over, the more say the individuals are going to have in how they live their life.
It's that closer of a step to a little bit more freedom.
Oh yeah.
Anything you can do to give the individual just a little bit more freedom is a good thing. So yeah, succession and being able to be their own state and get away from the people. Hey, look, we don't agree. We don't have the same values. I don't want to bother you, and I don't want you to bother me. Let's just get ourselves in a situation where you do your thing and I do mine.
Yeah, I think the radical politics of, since 2016, and it's been kind of edging more and more that way just the past few decades, people are realizing more and more, like, we shouldn't have mob rule over, like, just every 4 to 8 years we just switch, and then the other side's bullying us. Like, everyone's kind of realizing that's just not... you can't keep doing this. It can only be so volatile before it. I mean, we're really on the cusp of something, and especially with the rally, the way things were shaping up, we were really on the cusp of something potentially blowing up into a civil war. Like, not even fucking around. Like, this could have been so bad, and it still could be, because it's just the start of the fight. And the smaller we can get these authorities over us, the less of a threat that is. And every single anarchist, libertarian, whatever you might be, that should be the hope to avoid conflict, violent conflict. That's not a win for anyone, and it should be it should be firmly against your morals. As much as we like to joke about violence and shit, that should be abhorrent to anyone who actually holds these ideals.
I like to think that the people that go instantly to violence are either very new to the movement or are feds.
Yeah, I
do that.
I don't know. It matters what time of year it is for me. Yeah, I mean, when I have to pay my car registration and stuff, I start to feel a little bit more inclined towards violence right away. But
I understand.
that's a normal, healthy reaction. That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, outside of the jokes, like you should never be completely incapable of violence. I say pretty often, be peaceful, not harmless, and because harmless people just get stamped into the mud, whereas peaceful people who are ready to defend their rights, those are the people we want. Everyone should be capable of defending their property, their family, their beliefs until they're lost, but no one should be eager to do so. That's really fucking troubling if it's like that's your go-to solution.
Yeah. No, those. I mean, I know Sasquatch 300, his new page, Sassy's Raiders. He posted something about that I think last week or something, and it's that one video that went viral a little while ago from that raid that went bad in, what was it, Niger, I think it was, with the Navy SEALs, and it's like the one.
Oh,
yeah. Shot, and, yeah, and it's that one video, and it just says, like, I think the caption is like, before you're advocating for a boogaloo, understand what it costs, and it has that video. Like, that's going to happen to a lot of people.
Yeah,
and then I mean, like, sees that video, it's fucking heart wrenching to watch.
Yeah. It's not this heroic death where he's like, taking out like 3 guys as he breathes his last few breaths. It's like the guy gets shot. To be blunt, the guy gets shot. He stumbles over. There's like blood on the camera, and he's sitting there bleeding out. He doesn't just slowly fade away. Some fuck comes up and blasts him to pieces as he's bleeding out.
I think the worst part of that video is you see his Oakley sunglasses split and go in front of the camera after they came over to like shoot him point blank, and you're just like, exactly what happened. Yeah, and then the whole ground just goes red, and it's just like. That's what this would entail, and so many people don't realize what it would entail, and they're just I'm going to keep saying it. They just keep fetishizing it.
Yeah, and for all of our jokes and all this build up, it's something everyone should really get a firm grasp on. Everyone needs to really understand what violence entails, and it's not this Hollywood bullshit. It's fucking brutal. Closed casket, like.
I often think back to an article I read. I can't remember exactly what country it was. It was one of the Eastern European ones that had a heavy Soviet influence. Talking about what's that?
I don't know, Ukraine. You on about the Ukraine conflict?
I think it was Ukraine. I didn't want to say it specifically in case someone fact checked me and called me wrong.
We don't fact check.
And then I got in a week-long argument about it on Instagram. So I was just gonna cruise past that. But yeah, I believe it was the Ukraine, and it was just, they said, I can't believe how quickly the public accepted the violence. It went from nothing to just straight out violence instantly. Just torture, whatever, fighting for it. People quickly, like, we got the people online screaming about how we should have been having a shootout at the rally. Those are the people that are going to, violence is going to get escalated very quickly. And the same person was looking back at it after they had their civil war and was like, yeah, there's a lot of people who were looking back at what they had to do to survive. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah. If you survive it, it sticks with you, and you don't feel good afterwards usually.
Mm-hmm. Well, Christ, the people in Ukraine, they haven't got to the afterwards part yet. This conflict, I think Ukraine's actually a very adequate thing to compare to what would happen in this country, except it would be so much fucking worse here because it's such a big, heavily armed place. But Ukraine, it started off with protests back in March 2014. That's how fucking long ago that started. and started off with protests. They turned violent because of their fucked up, corrupt government. And to this day, there is still a civil war going on. It's just that there's checkpoints. There's been every level of combat. You know, from tanks to just raids on towns and shit. Snipers shooting civilians in the streets in the early days. It's fucking abhorrent stuff. And in this country, in Ukraine, it kind of fell apart because there was like a puppet in charge. But here, we've got 50 different states that would just all be torn apart in their own separate ways. And, oh, fuck me. Just to even think about what the whole conflict would entail.
Most states, like the bigger ones, will be torn in several different conflicts.
It'll be neighborhood to neighborhood, in my opinion. There will be no united front in any way.
I think there will be united front in small sections. Communities will band together.
Yeah.
But if they're at that time, once the violence gets escalated, the smallest thing can set separate communities off. And when there's no one around, when everyone's fighting amongst each other, and no one's going, hey guys, take a step back, we're being ridiculous, then stuff will, until energies get exhausted and people get tired of seeing people die, it'll stay like that for a minute.
But yeah, we've done an entire episode on that. Suffice to say, fucking horrible stuff, and we should pursue every peaceful option we have, no matter. I mean, this, like I said, like I keep saying, this was never going to be a case of we protest, they repeal the laws, we all go home and live our happy lives. This fight is going to keep on going, and not just in Virginia, but in every state eventually. It's just going to be pushed and pushed and pushed. So
it's about waking people up, and it's going to take a minute to wake people up. But be happy, the pendulum has finally swung. I feel like the momentum's behind us.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Let's keep that going. Let's be happy. Everything went good last weekend. And let's look forward to what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah. And we really need to be plugging ourselves into this grassroots shit. Like, don't wait to send off a paycheck to the NRA or even the good groups like Gun Policy and Gun Owners of America. They do great shit, but you need warm bodies on the ground representing a movement, not just being some arbitrary voice lost in the political void. You need to be out there showing you give a shit.
Take that money, government. Spend it on a day off, take a day off work. If you got to travel, save that money and support the movement by being there.
Yeah.
Don't think you can do it from behind your computer anymore. You're like, let's get out.
Yeah, and not to piss on what, or not to belittle what Tridge has done, but anyone can do this shit. Anyone, I mean, not quite like Tridge has done. Like you have burned yourself to, you have burned yourself out, man. If 3 people did what Tridge is doing in every state, we'd be in a very fucking good place. We need people to.
I keep telling people, like, people are thanking me. I'm like, you guys can do this too. Like,
absolutely.
I wish I didn't have to do this. I wish I was sitting my ass on the couch, like, just eating Pop-Tarts, and you guys, went out and did some of this shit. But like,
man, I just want to be sitting at home watching Clone Wars.
Yeah. Well, when you do it to an extent, like it is exhausting at times. Like,
oh yeah,
I saw at the DC rally versus this rally, they saw me like, dude, have you lost weight? Looks like you lost a lot of weight. I'm like, I don't know, man. I haven't had time to get on a scale. Like,
well, that's the thing is you don't have enough time to eat. You're so busy, like you're not even stopping to eat.
Like there were times.
I wanted to bring that up because people ask all the time, "How does Trigi do it? How did he start it?" And I would like to think I started following you right around the same time I started my Instagram. I think you started right about the same time. And you're just a meme page. And you took that and your conviction and just your belief for the movement, you moved it into what you did from nothing. You had no experience. I don't want to call you a nobody, but when it came to doing what needed to be done, you were nobody. And you built it up just because of your convictions and how you felt about the movement. And if we could get 50 people in this country, one from every state, I know they're out there. There's more than 50 people that can do this in this country. Just a couple people that want to step it up just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah. And I mean, anyone who's like ready to take that step and start really plugging themselves into this shit, if you want to get active, people have started to send us petitions and like talks of meetings and stuff in their various states. Like, send it our way. We're all about that shit. We will boost your signal, and I'm sure everyone in our sort of circle will want to do the same. We've got to. This has been the springboard. Use this momentum, this positive energy, and fucking push out into your state.
Without a doubt. I mean, it has been inspiring too to see how many people have gotten involved already. I mean, in so many states, you know, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina,
Kentucky,
Pennsylvania, Michigan, Colorado, like everywhere, man. People have been working their asses off too, man. So it's I'm glad this started, because I feel like people kind of felt powerless before. They just they didn't feel like they could affect change.
You write a check and send it off and hope a lawyer somewhere does your job for you.
Well, I like to think for a while people were powerless. And it was mostly because there wasn't enough momentum behind them to have their voice heard. We need people to agree with us, and everyone was kind of just happy living their life, thinking that everything was going their way, and finally like I said, the pendulum's moving the other way.
It's easier to accept how it is than affect change and try to get it to how you want it to be. And people were just tired and burnt out, man. They just wanted to accept it how it was. But, you know, like, I'm from New Jersey, and I saw all this gun control stuff go into place up there, you know. Some of it's from even before I was born. Like, and you know, I would see other states. Like, I had buddies that lived out in PA, and they could own so much more than I could own. I was like, man, I want to do that. So I moved from New Jersey to Virginia. And then all of a sudden it followed me down here, man. I mean, it started getting all up, you know, I moved down here for two reasons. My fiance and guns. Not guns and guillotines, the kind I can actually shoot. I moved down here for two reasons. And then that, you know, one of those reasons all of a sudden is under attack the same way it was from where I'm from. And, you know, it got to the point where, like, I'm not going to run anymore. Like, this, I'm not going to keep running to another state because it's going to happen in whatever state I go to eventually. And don't think it can't happen in your state, because it absolutely can. I didn't think it could happen in Virginia, and look where we are now. So,
and that's why I felt the need to, like, travel to a different state to help out, to get this movement going. Like, if I see my neighbors being infringed upon, I need to stand up for them. I need to help stand up for their rights, and we all do. All tyranny needs is good men to be silent.
Fuck yeah. I mean,
exactly.
This shit is cancer, so you got to operate on it when you see it, not when it's close to you.
I'm happy. While that's cancer, I'm happy that there's good stuff spreading too. Like, this is spreading to so many more states.
Yeah, I think we're definitely moving in the right direction, and I'm so fucking glad there's people like yourself and many others who are really applying themselves. I think this is the right time to really be moving this stuff forward. We've got social media now. It helps us see there's, like, literally tens of thousands of us, not just, you know, your people at your local gun range. We feel we can actually make a difference now, and people are fucking fed up enough. It's finally time that this generation is going to say, fuck you, we're done.
Yeah, man, I mean, well, that's just that social media part. Like, at the rally, I had apparently a bunch of people pointed the Wired magazine reporter that was out there talking, they pointed them to me, and he was asking about social media influence on this rally and on this issue. And so
it wouldn't have happened without it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. This could not have happened, or at least happened as quick as it did, without that. So, and just a side note, that reporter was extremely professional. So, the reporter for Wired Magazine that came to talk to people, thank you for being an honest journalist, not a gotcha journalist. We appreciate that.
And on the back end of that, the social media, when they're trying to paint us in a bad picture, we have the social media to back us up. Like, it's actually hurting the mainstream media with us being able to fact check ourselves just by all the pictures being out there and the people out there reporting.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to see that picture of supposedly a photographer chucking spent casings on the floor to photograph?
I did see that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like from this rally or how legit it is, but I do not doubt something like that would happen, you know?
I mean, we all thought it did coming into the rally. I'm glad nothing came of it.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, social media is just that one more check that they don't want of people being able to come together. Like Trigi said, our voice was heard because of social media. Mm-hmm. Our generation, like the people, the anarchists and the libertarians, never really had any kind of voice before that they could share, and now we can share it.
Yeah, it's what I keep saying about technology. Like, as time progresses, just power becomes less and less centralized. It goes back to the individual. We're all so much more capable than we would have been 10, 20 years ago. So it really does give me hope. And worst case scenario, we're going to have fucking 3D printers in every household in 10 years. So come and fucking take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just print 10 more.
Hopefully sooner.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything to add?
Well, while we're talking about what's happening, again, like BR said, if you have some kind of activism going in your state, send us the information. I try to share whatever I have.
Literally spam every single member of the eMilitia, because my DM fucking wasteland. If you send it to all of us, one of us will
find it,
and then we'll show it to the group, and we'll boost that signal. That's what we're all about. So
yeah, absolutely.
Coming after the whole Virginia thing, I found there's something coming in my home state of Ohio. So far, at Firearms Aficionado 1791 on Instagram has been promoting it. He wants to have a rally here in Columbus, Ohio, our state capital, Monday, May 4th, 2020. That is the anniversary date of the Kent State shooting.
Oh shit! Nice choice.
Yes, I agree, and I'd just like to help push that along. I told him I will do whatever I can to help make that a thing and get it out to people.
Absolutely.
I was talking to him about that about an hour ago too, man. If you don't follow Firearm Aficionado, you should. He's a great guy. He's in my most active group chat too. He's one of my good out of state goon squad guys. So definitely worth a follow. But what's up
with the social media thing? I follow you closely. Went to Virginia. Never even met the guy. I wasn't following him. He wasn't following me because of Virginia and this all building up. I introduced myself to him today, and hopefully I'll be in a group chat with him someday.
Yeah, man. I mean, it helps a lot to be able to connect. I mean, I've been able to connect with a lot of people in my own backyard too through this whole thing. So it's been a blessing to say the least. But some other rallies that are coming up. I know they're trying to have one. I know Kentucky 2A is trying to organize one in April in Kentucky. And then I believe Jonna Wick on Instagram, JONNAWICK. She runs a gun shop down in Houston, and I think she's trying to get a rally going in Houston in June. I I don't have the exact dates for either of those yet. They're still working out the particulars of it. But there are a lot of rallies coming up, and I believe there's a Rhode Island rally as well in April. So there's a lot of stuff coming up for sure.
It's awesome. Everything's moving along. People actually they're getting on it now. The example's been set, and you can only do better.
Yeah, man, it's been a whirlwind the last few months. I'm excited to take a break for a few days, to be honest. Though.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Please. take a week off.
I was so surprised at how quickly you posted that things are coming really quick in the future, and stay tuned. I'm like, damn, dude. I'm like, he didn't even give himself 1 day. I'm like, his shit's already blowing up with people being like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, I thought you'd be in a coma somewhere.
Exactly, me too. I barely even got to hang out with him at the rally. He was surrounded, dude. Celebrity status.
That was. I'm a fucking welder, man. I don't get that.
And that's part of the reason I didn't even go up near you, because then you'd be like, hey, this is Hanging for Freedom, and then people want to talk to me. Yeah. So, yeah, I stayed at the edge of the group, like, try to introduce myself to new people, pass out some stickers.
Man, you're going to have to take front and center in Ohio, mate.
Well,
you and Fire Aficionado gotta do that, man. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say his first name if it's on his Instagram account or not. So let me just check. But yeah, you and him gotta take charge.
Well, like I said, I reached out to him today, so hopefully we'll move this right along.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I should be able to make it to that too. So.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Yeah, man. Hey, you came down here twice. I gotta get up there at least once.
That'd be nice. I believe there's a hotel downtown that has like a indoor water slide and shit. We should all try to fucking hook up there.
Right, I'm down.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes, we'll grill some pineapple, do some water slides.
Yeah, man. Go up a little further north, hit Cedar Point for a day. Come on back down.
Oh yeah, Cedar Point ain't too far.
Make a trip of it.
Now you got me excited. What day is that?
Yeah.
May 4th.
4th.
Monday. So we got all weekend to do fun shit, man.
Nice.
All right. I think we'll wrap it up there unless anyone else has anything.
I don't think so. Just
No, I think we got it.
All right. Where can, if people are not, or sorry?
go for it.
I was gonna say, where can people find you if they're not already following you? Which I severely doubt anyone listening will know.
On Instagram, I am at Trijiconch, and on Twitter, I am Trijiconfucious. And just stay tuned to my page. I mean, there should be a lot more coming Virginia-wise soon enough. Working with 10th Amendment Center to get ordinance stuff up and running. Working with a few people to get some more rallies going. Whether they're localized or whether they're statewide, and also working with the State of Appalachia initiative. So you should be hearing plenty more about that stuff in the coming few months.
Hell yeah! And then, if you guys are wondering how to set up various two-way supporting procedures in your local government, putting forward resolutions and such, listen to episode 23.5 where Tridge goes over it in great detail. So quit spamming his DMs for that. Just go listen to him from the horse's mouth. 23.5, the bonus episode from us, and then he's been on a billion other podcasts in our circle as well. Biting the Bullet, Fagcast. I think he's been on with Status Quo. Yeah, so there's plenty of him out there. Go and give him a listen. All over the place. Follow him on Instagram, and yeah. I believe that is us.
All right, I appreciate you having me on.
Fuck yeah, man. Thanks for coming back.
Anytime.
I'm sure you're going to be coming on plenty in the future as we keep on tackling this fucking behemoth.
As the new governor.
Man. I'll be there.
Fuck yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, people. See you next time.